Hey team, I'm out for an all morning run today, and I'm kind of focusing on employing race strategy, ultra running race strategy to a lot of my climbing today. I've got a 2,000 foot climb that's very, very rugged in majority of the spots, and it's over 10, 12, 15% grade. So a lot of hiking, but there are points in the climb that mellow out. Maybe they become less rugged where it's a little bit smoother terrain, less rocks, or it even goes downhill for a little bit. So with a lot of my athletes who are doing ultra races, we focus a lot of time on this type of race strategy where we're focused on taking advantage of the climb to run when it mellows out, when you're able to run easy, and using the steeper sections, the more rugged sections for hiking. But it takes practice, and a lot of times the mistake runners make when racing and in training is that once they decide to hike, they just make that one decision and they're just kind of then in hiking mode the whole time, rather than reading the terrain in front of you and choosing and making moment-to-moment decisions whether to hike or to run based on the terrain, the technicality of the terrain, and the grade of the terrain. So I'm going to run up a little bit and kind of show you what this means, and hopefully it kind of comes through. A lot of times with the camera, it doesn't really express how steep the grade is. So again, when I'm hiking, this is probably over 12% grade, and like I mentioned, pretty rugged terrain. You can see I've got a lot of rugged terrain, very narrow, but again, this is, about 15% grade. Doesn't look it, but it is kind of downhill. There's the canyon that I'm running up. So here goes. So I'm gonna get into my hiking mode, and then again start running and show you the terrain that I'm making these moment-to-moment decisions on to keep my effort appropriate and focused. So I'm really managing my effort, but also taking advantage of the time when I'm able to run easier. And again, just a little bit faster. And that's the key, is we want to be able to run easy relatively fast when we're able to. So here goes. So hiking mode. And you're gonna see up here, it's just noticeable how the terrain begins to change. So now I'm gonna go into a nice, easy, short run, and then it kicks back up again. I'm back to hiking. And again, that was maybe 6-7 steps of running. And I'm always kind of looking ahead. And I'm getting to the top of this, and it's going to go downhill a little bit. I'm going to run downhill. Boom. And it's a little bit mellower right now. Easy terrain, not very technical. I can run a little bit. Nice and easy. I'm always looking ahead. I see it's going to kick up here. So right about here, I'm back into hiking mode, because I'm probably 12, 13, 14% grade right now, and back into hiking mode. Looking ahead, hey, looks like it's gonna mellow out up here a little bit. And right at the sun, and I can see ahead. And now, nice and easy run. Plus, I already know this terrain, so I know the spots that I can run in really easy. And now, my effort hasn't changed, but my speed has. And that's the key. Nice, easy. We go into a little hike here. It kicks up again into the sun, and it stays kicked up forever. So hopefully that comes through. While I'm doing this, I always have my hydration in my hand when I'm hiking, so I'm able to sip consistently because it's slower going, and I can hydrate and fuel while I'm going uphill, knowing when it mellows out, I've got a flatter, faster section coming. Now I'm fueled and hydrated. Maybe I can get rid of this, put it away, and really focus on running well. So try that out when you're working on your race strategy, taking advantage of the trail when it allows you to go a little bit faster, easier. But the key is you're making moment-to-moment decisions, reading the trail, managing your effort by either making decisions to hike or run where the effort doesn't change. So another mistake runners and racers make on more rolling terrain when they're short uphills that should be hiked, but since they're short, runners can often see the top of them, so they kind of punch it and run it too hard because they can see the top and they just want to get over it. And then they end up having to recover on the downhill when you're losing your opportunity to take advantage of faster terrain. We want to do just the opposite. So even though they might be shorter rolling hills, still read the terrain, hike up, run down. And now by managing my effort on the climb, I can really be focused on this fast stuff and get into a good groove. I'm hydrated and fueled, really good focus, taking advantage of running this well and not needing recovery from doing the climb too hard. Don't get me wrong, there's times to train the uphills hard. This is really only during race strategy training and during the race. And then today, I'm choosing to run this flatter section really pretty fast, faster than race pace. So race pace begins to feel easier when racing.
Of all the money that e'er I spent it in good company, and of all the harm that e'er I've done, alas, it was to none but me, and all I've done for want of wit to memory I can't recall. So fill to me the party.
And as you can see, we got a little dusting of snow the last few days in the high peaks of the Tetons. I was fortunate enough to get out in the Tetons the last few days with some visitors, and it was magnificent. We had some cloud cover with the peaks kind of peeking out through the clouds with the snow on it. It was pretty magical. Even got to see a grizzly bear, so it was pretty cool. One of those actually magical kind of days in September where it's mostly kind of like this, where a lot of blue sky. So it was pretty magical getting in the clouds, and for it just to be a little bit different than what it's used to. And I think that's the point of this video, is that you've got to start really employing this type of strategy. Make things different in with what you're doing with your race strategy and training. Okay, that's what's really gonna help you once you're out there in the race, to have all these multiple gears. What this also does is it allows your legs to get used to transitioning between running and hiking often and frequently. And that's key for ultra running. Now that my legs are fresh from employing proper strategy, I'm headed down the hill. I've got about a 2,500 foot descent to home, and I'm just going to focus. And really, again, now I'm utilizing the terrain to run a lot faster, using the downhills to my advantage. If I would have ran that climb a lot harder, now my legs will be toast and I'm not able to run or focus as much on this downhill. And that's the key to race strategy. Okay. Also, by employing this strategy on the climbs, it keeps you motivated, it keeps you focused on the moment. We always hear, race in the present moment. And by reading the terrain every step, every 5 feet in front of you, it keeps you focused on what you're doing in the moment, which takes you away from thinking too far ahead, which is a disaster when it comes to ultra running. So, all right, that's what I got for you today. Look at this beautiful day. Thanks for watching. Over and out from Wilson Canyon, Jackson Hole, and Born to Run World. See you guys.
There's a man around the corner, he's been asking me for change, and I could use some. Think I could use some sometimes. All these things slow me down, like the concrete that's been sticking to the bottom of my shoes. Soles worn and tired have started wearing through. I can feel